circle. This is so good for Genesis Dogma. It seems like FaZe bit off more than they could chew left.
I say that, but Corbe's gonna take a bite out of Daybot. So FaZe, they managed to patch themselves back up. This is quite impressive actually from FaZe. I thought they were out, they were done and gone and whatever I wanted to say there, but yeah, but they're somehow still battling it out. Two members still standing live as Infinity having to go up against 628. Looking at the kill feed though, it looks like Genesis Dogma are once again making quick work. That doesn't look like FaZe are out of it. There we go. For a moment there, I was starting to believe
I know
they're gonna res themselves up. They're gonna take the fight back to Genesis Dogma, but Genesis Dogma, there's a reason why they have been picked to at least one of our analysts picked them to win the chicken dinner. I do believe those Kalaris, and fittingly so. They look good, just losing, not even losing a single man, and they have 4 kills to their name.
6-8, holding on to that prison hill is always risky. Probably should have predicted that a team was going to be coming in from the south behind you. Has been Infinity, and 6-8 paid the price. The other 2 players that are left for 6-8 are now pushing in as Enigma Galaxy gets a bit of a run over kill. Happy days on that one. Freak looking for another couple of shots as Action does what he can to support his teammate. Has to turn around though, because here's the thing, the compound Stalwart hold onto is good, but it has multiple angles of fire towards this direction.
Yeah, and it's Enigma Galaxy. Okay, Rico Infinity. I didn't even realize there were bleeding players out. Well, it looks like they're down to just a 1 man. It's a bit of a rough start here for them. Oh, never mind, they've been eliminated. Just a rough start for the MENA team. Cryptix as well, still 2 players alive and kicking. 6-8 down to just a 2-man squad. And for Starboard Esports, you did point out how they need to be wary of other players, you know, third partying in. But looking at the map, I guess it's only Enigma Galaxy. And if look, I know that Enigma Galaxy have been a little bit more aggressive of late, but I feel like old habits just might kick in. I think they're just gonna keep quiet, play the edge of the zone, and be like, yeah, you guys fight it out. We'll just bide our time.
Well, and that's okay, because there's aggression and there's calculated aggression. The best teams always have calculated aggression. Don't know when to turn that on, right? Was it in the words of Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So it is important to use that at the right moments. What I love about Reject though is that they moved away from Mansion. They recognized that if the circle shifts away, it's incredibly difficult. They did hand it over to Deadeye's guys though in the process, but I really prefer where Reject have put themselves. They are at risk of the hill to the east of them, but they're also to an extent protected from it for the time being, and they can focus more heavily on the west. They have a lovely spread in that compound. MS Chambori, though, we saw them take out Rico and Fiend. Their next target is most likely going to be 4Rivals on that north side, but the Xavier could third party. However, they've got to think about BTR.
Look at how flat the terrain is. Oh, that zone.
Oh boy.
The Xavier and BTR. Whoever comes out on top of this, they're gonna be a pretty comfortable place. But yeah, the old boys coming out from you. This is open plain, naked terrain, Imperium. Sure, maybe a couple of trees, maybe some kind of sloping, I wouldn't even call it hills, but mountains. But apart from that, this is gonna be just a battle royale of snakes eventually.
It really is, and who has the most amount of vehicles available? Who keeps those vehicles running available to use? That's going to be a big part of the final circle. Biding your time. Nova are in, to an extent, the center of it right now. They have Infinity to the south, followed by 6-8, BTR to the west. Enigma Galaxy now rotating in on the eastern side, getting headed like a Reject, followed by 4Rivals on that northern side. They have no idea where they're really going, it feels, but they're pushing into the center. In my eyes, that's not the call. That's not the way to do it on phase 5.
Oh my lord, bullets, they're flying thick and fast. You said it, it's a scary
no way!
But Appy, you absolute animal! He just completely obliterates Nova. That was a 1v3, and it just completely wrecks them. How does he do it? How does he do it?
That shouldn't have worked. By all logic, that should not have worked. But 4Rivals pull it off. They're insane. They're madmen. All I can do is just appreciate the fact that they committed to. They ended up going out in the end, but they took Nova with them.
I'm just absolute champions. Yeah, they get eliminated, but hey, that's 3 or 4 elimination points for them, right? While going out in style. That caught me off guard. I'm sorry, that really caught me off guard. I wasn't seeing that. I'm like, yeah, 4Rivals are out of here, but they're like, we're gonna take you with us. And Nova, they go down kicking and screaming. In the meantime, Xavier, these nades are harassing 2 teams simultaneously. BTR, of course, being the team right next to them. And what are Xavier gonna do? They're gonna be pushing in. They're gonna be riding straight into them. Absolute insanity. And they're gonna get knocked down because of that Lamborghini. Having spotted Zoxy, deals a bit of damage. Doesn't exactly know where he is, and he gets shot from afar. Infinity, the saviors of BTR, as Stalwart Esports now having to go up close and against Genesis Dogma. Scry, he knows there's someone nearby in the smoke. He knows someone's lying prone. Eventually he'll fall. And Stalwart Esports now having to battle against Reject, because look at Sarah just charging into the direction.
This is so good from Reject. They've left until kind of like the final second to push out that compound. Genesis Dogma got ahead of them. They took out Genesis Dogma. They're now coming in from behind. They're going to be able to take the shots on the Stalwart. However, Enigma Galaxy from that southeast side are taking advantage of them. Ray Joso gets knocked. Sarah gets knocked. Stalwart keep themselves alive. Pika and Scry, together they stand united. They stay up.
I don't know how Stalwart is still alive and kicking. It looked like Reject were just completely going to ruin the day, but the tables have been flipped. And Reject, Duello, and Divine need to get the reses. Duello trying to provide a bit of suppressing fire in the direction of Stalwart now. They need to move in. They need to move in real quick. Infinity, though, 10 eliminations. Imperium, 10, and all 4 still alive. Still looking for more news. Maybe getting a little too overeager. Sarah, in the meantime, is still somehow crawling around. Eventually, he'll fall to Pika, and Reject are now down to, I do believe, just to 2 members, unless I'm very much mistaken here. Enigma Galaxy going for a play. This is dangerous, but Logan out in the open in his car. Somehow, a little bit of Ridge providing some cover for the time being.
Modis, he's on his own. Enigma have had a hell of a game. They are down to 2.5 because Freak is knocked down on his knees. Sorry, Hamodi throwing a nade forward is good, but it's also a bit of a risk because one nade towards him, he's going to get knocked. Reject end up going down at the hands of Stalwart. I appreciate what Reject were trying to do, just didn't work out in this case as Pika keeps himself alive. 5 teams left up. Deadeye's guys are still going strong, but they have to deal with MS Chambori.
Hamodi quickly finished off though. Enigma Galaxy, they know they have to go for the play.
That was a risk.
Charging in straight into the Lion's Den. And Infinity, they're not stopping anytime soon. They're going for this. The nade, it looks good. Freak, oh, he dodges it somehow. Rough in the meantime will be finished off. Enigma Galaxy down just to 1 man. His head spotted, and he will be finished. Infinity 12 is still going, and the only team who could potentially take them down is seemingly MS Chonburi. Right now, on the edge of the circle, they got the vehicles, they got his compound, but Infinity, they look nigh untouchable. And for Stalwart Esports, Scry, the last man standing, he will be finished. And now it is a final 2 teams, 8 players in the server, a 4 versus 4.
Look at God Tunny. He's holding on to that cover. He's keeping an eye on MS Chambori. This is perfect spread from Infinity. They knew that they couldn't really, you know, secure the backs by having 4 players where they were, so they needed to have 1 player covering. MS Chambori had been able to go on the other side, but at the end of the day, like I said, God Tunny comes in to get 2 knocks to MS Chambori, and the advantage is once again over to Infinity.
It's incredible. Did they have 14 eliminations?
I know.
They could actually get 18. I think that's a record, right? Like I think one team got a 17, but 18. It's looking likely. It's looking very likely. Now the res might just take place here, but no, first Jasper has to patch himself up, and while that's going on, the bullets just whizzing past a couple of them, ramming through the body slot. TP13 has a lot of work to do. A wild spray coming out from his M4, not quite able to connect, but all the reses, Ponzai, if he gets res as well, it could still be a 4v4. MS Chonburi, they're not quite out yet.
I was thinking, Infinity, please don't rely on the circle staying in your direction. You got to keep the pressure on. The little bit of a dip, it is to your advantage as well within the circle, but you just can't rely on it. They didn't. They pushed forward, and now MS Chambori, they're under a hell of a lot of pressure.
Yeah, out in the open, barely any cover apart from a couple of trees. Another 2 knocks going the way of Infinity. Make that 3. Bonsai, last man standing, looking to stand and deliver. But I gotta say, it's looking unlikely. On 20 HP, 10 HP, and he will be finished eventually. MS Chonburi will fall after a valiant one last stand. But the Infinity, 18 eliminations, Imperium, and the chicken dinner. What a statement. They don't even need these points.
Are we looking at the